It's day 154 of the project, and today I'm bringing you another two inspired by fragrances from the Middle Eastern fragrance house Afnan. These go under the brand name of Rue Broca, and the fragrances are called Penthouse Larvotto and Penthouse Ginza. Both are copies of really well-known fragrances, but to find out which ones and whether or not these are worth picking up, stay tuned to Mags Frags. Yes, hello again everybody, and welcome once again to this latest episode of Mags Frags. I'm Paul, and this is day 154 of my Fragrance 365 project, where it's the fragrance that's the star of the show. Today I'm going to be letting you know my thoughts on these two Afnan copy fragrances that I picked up for less than £15 each, and they've both been recently recommended to me by a couple of subscribers to the channel, so thank you very much for the heads up, guys. And this is basically what all the fragrance community is all about, helping other people to discover and to find new interesting fragrances, and it's even better when you can pick them up for just £11 each. They both come in an 80ml bottle size, but they do look and feel more like 125ml bottles. I picked both of these up from the Notino website for just £11.96 each, but they usually sell for between 15 and 20 quid on other sites without the discount. There's at least another two fragrances in this line called Windsor and Versailles that you can pick up on eBay, but these were the only two variants that were available on the Notino website at the time when I picked both of these two up. Yeah, so into the presentation, and the boxes look really decent. Both have a printed textured finish and lots of metallic chrome detailing. The Lavator comes in a black colourway, and the Ginza is in a slightly lighter but still deep navy blue colour. On the front is the name of the fragrance, and then right down at the bottom is the Rue Broca branding and the size and concentration, which in the case of all of the fragrances in this line are an eau de parfum. At the top is another Rue Broca logo, and on the back is all your product information, your barcode, your batch code, and here's also where you'll see that it's manufactured by Afnan Perfumes in the small print. I did actually spend quite a bit of time trying to get into the box and wondered why the top was glued down, and I was just about to actually tear it open, so be careful when you're opening this one, because it took me a little while to realise that it actually opens from the bottom, and the old bottom just lifts up to reveal the bottle that's mounted inside, which is actually really nice, but just strange when you don't know it's there. Again, there's a little chrome motif on the underside of the lid, and I don't know what you think, but so far I think it's looking pretty good for the price. Yeah, the bottle looks really fun and quirky, but it does feel slightly on the cheaper side compared to some of the other Afnan products that I've tested recently, with this kind of hard plastic case, but it's still decent enough and feels robust. The cap fits really snugly, and nothing feels like it's going to break or fall off like you get with some of the Middle Eastern brands. Both the front and the back are identical in design and features a soft like faux leather insert. It's kind of like a rubbery insert with the Penthouse branding stamped into it. Again, there's lots of metallic chrome accents, which include the name of the fragrance and the Rue Broca logo, which is embossed into the side. There's also this chrome ribbed effect finish that runs around the sides, which gives a nice grippy texture when you're holding it. The cap is a combination of metal and plastic. It feels fairly weighty, and the atomizer is in a little bit of an awkward place, but it's got a decent spray quality. But the bottle is quite wide, and it is going to feel a little touch awkward and a bit uncomfortable to spray if your hands are on the smaller side. But overall, I'd say the presentation on this is really, really good for the price that you pay. Okay, so first up we're going to take a look at the Larvotto, and the top notes in this are lemon, lavender, bergamot, basil and fruity notes. In the heart there's rosemary, violet leaf, coriander, aldehydes, sandalwood, jasmine and orris root. And in the base there's oak moss, patchouli, cedar, amber and musk. Yes, so this one opens up very bright with a blend of citruses and floral notes. Although it's not long before it reveals its true identity, and this becomes more of a warm, spicy, ambery fragrance with a touch of fruitiness, but you also get a slight petrol vibe coming from the violet leaf and the patchouli, and it's without doubt inspired by Tuxedo from the YSL's private blend range. I've also owned a few bottles of this one, the Rochas Moustache, which is now empty as you can see, but I've owned a few bottles of this, which is probably the best known clone of Tuxedo, but it's getting more and more difficult to get hold of now, and even when you do find it these days, the price has skyrocketed since it's had a lot of hype in the community. So I would say this is probably your best alternative if you're looking for a decent Tuxedo clone. Pretty much as soon as I sprayed it, I recognised what it was meant to be inspired by. So in terms of accuracy, that alone is good enough for me. And in the air, this is Tuxedo. I think both the Rochas and the original project just a little bit more than this one, but having said that, this is by no means a weak fragrance and it will definitely get you noticed, and I think it's as accurate as the Moustache in terms of the scent quality, but just maybe not as aggressive in terms of its projection in the first hour or so. It's a really stylish and masculine fragrance that remains really crisp and clean throughout, without ever becoming too sweet or cloying. Okay, so now we move on to the Ginza, and the top notes in this one are grapefruit, bergamot, fresh notes and spices. In the heart we've got bay leaf, lavender and jasmine, and in the base there's ambergris, oak moss and patchouli. So this one again opens up very fresh and fruity with more of a blue, salty, aquatic scent DNA. It starts out quite synthetic, but it's not long before you pick up on the super clean and refreshing marine type vibe, and also some bubblegummy sweetness in there too. I won't go on too much about this one though, because once I tell you what this is inspired by, most of you hardcores will probably just click off the video, but this one's definitely inspired by Invictus from Paco Rabanne. I have tested this side by side with the original and it is actually a really decent copy, and it smells pretty much identical in the air. I have actually said this on many occasions, but I really like how Invictus smells, and in my opinion it doesn't deserve anywhere near the amount of negativity that it gets in the fragrance community. It's probably got me more compliments than any other fragrance that I've ever owned, but I suppose it's just been a bit of a victim of its own success and just become too popular and recognisable. There's also loads and loads of clones of Invictus out there, so the chances are that you already own a couple of Invictus clones anyway, but I have got to say that this one is a really good one, especially at under £12. Yes, so the Ginza is obviously a summer fragrance, and the Larvotto is one that would be probably better suited to the cooler months of the year. Although I have worn the original Tuxedo and the Rochas Moustache on warmer days, and this scent DNA, this is absolutely fine on warmer days, and it never gets too cloying or sickly. Both of these two though are extremely versatile, and you can wear them dressed up or casually, but the Larvotto is the more grown up and sophisticated one of the two, so this is probably better suited to wear as a work fragrance, and I would say that the Ginza is more of an everyday dumb reach kind of scent. Yeah, both of these have really good performance, and you're going to get a good 7 hours plus of longevity with decent projection on both. The Larvotto is probably not quite as intense as the Rochas Moustache copy in terms of projection, but it's still decent enough to get you noticed from about 5 or 6 feet away. I would say the Ginza pops off the skin a little bit more, and it is more comparable with the original Invictus, which is more of a bit of a room filling scent. So out of the two, I'd say that the Ginza wins the projection battle out of these two, but both will get you through the day with absolutely no problem without the need to reapply. Well, like the title and the thumbnail to this video suggests, these two both represent unbelievable value for money, and if you can pick them up for under £15 like I did, then you simply can't go wrong. I would obviously recommend the Larvotto one over the Ginza, simply because it smells like a £200 fragrance rather than a £50 designer scent, but both are well worth picking up if you can grab them at the price that I did. I would still probably go for the Rochas Moustache over the Larvotto if you can find it for the £25 or £30 mark, but the last time I looked it was up at around about the 50 or 60 quid mark, so if that's still the case, then I'd say that you're probably still better off with this option. I'll also be picking up the other two in the line at some point, and hopefully letting you know what they're all about. But for now, my overall impression of these two are that I think they're perfect if you're kind of on a budget, or if you just want something that's going to get you plenty of compliments and just simply do the job. They certainly don't smell like £12 fragrances, and I can assure you that I've recently picked up some new designer releases that have cost over £60 and they don't smell as good or last as long as these two. Yeah, so once again, that's about it for today's scent of the day. But don't forget, coming up over the next few days, I've got a couple more wallet-friendly retro fragrances in the 365 project to talk about, as well as a couple more Middle Eastern dupes and another huge perfume parlour haul that I will probably split into two videos because there's just so many of them. So plenty to get his teeth into these next few days. And as always, guys, if you have found this video useful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe. The channel has just now passed the 500,000 views milestone, so I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you that tune in on a regular basis and keep supporting the channel, so thank you very, very much. It's also always great to hear your thoughts, your opinions and your critiques on all of the fragrances that feature throughout this 365 project, so don't forget to keep your comments coming down in that comment section. So once again, thank you very much for tuning into this latest episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye bye for now.